Hey, Katrina here from Scrappy Horses. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be doing a tutorial that is only in Design Space. We're just going to hang out in Cricut Design Space today. I want to show you how I set up the vinyl for these keychains. Now, if you need information on how to make the actual keychains, I will link a video by an outside source, a video by someone else, explaining how to do that. But I'm going to talk about how we set up these vinyl pieces or the cuts to put on the keychains. All right, so what you're looking at right here on your screen are the actual ones that I made, and the oboe and the music ones are designs that I did myself. And I'm going to show you how to personalize some different shapes, as well as just choose one from Cricut Design Space. All right, let's get started. So here we are in Cricut Design Space, and these are the three that I made that you just saw the picture. This one, we're gonna just set it aside because it is a very personalized one. There are no images for an oboe, and I teach oboe and play oboe, so I'm not going to talk about that one because I did a lot of work and made this myself. So we're going to set this aside. This one, however, let's talk about this, all right? And the computer we will talk about. So let's start with this one because it was the easiest. I started out by just putting in a fake keychain. I measured the actual physical keychain, and it was 2 inches by 2 inches. So I brought in a shape, a circle. It comes in at 2 inches by 2 inches, so that's easy enough. Then I knew I had to remember that I have this little place where the chain goes in, and I obviously don't want anything to go over that, any of my vinyl pieces. So I went ahead and put that in. So again, all I did is pick up a shape, pick up an itty bitty little circle. It's just a placeholder for me. That's all it really is. I'll make it white. And I just pick it up and just sort of place it. I'm going to go ahead and slice that. Okay, so that's the blank. Now, I can make this any color I like by left clicking, hitting the square, and just choosing a color. Now, I did these in school colors, all right? So where I went to high school, the colors were purple and white, okay? So just for fun, I'll go with purple and white. So there's purple. All right. And what I did here is I basically came in and I chose a heart. Again, just from these shapes, these free shapes, here's a heart. You can choose any heart you like. That's not the heart I chose for this one, but we certainly could choose this. And we can change the size. Again, I'm going to left click, set it up in white here because that's the color I want. I'm going to bring this in and see just how big can I make this and have it fit on my keychain. Okay. I could go this big if I wanted to. All right, now I want it to be open like this. All I need to do is come up and go to offset. Instead of going offset to the outside, I'm going to go offset to the inside, and I want that to be sharp. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and apply. And I'm left clicking with my mouse. Now I'm going to select it all and I'm going to slice it. And now I have that shape. And I can just delete this. Okay, I want to choose a note to go in here like I did here. okay? I happen to know that this particular note is from Groovy Times. I'm going to go ahead and reselect that same note because I know that I like the proportions of it. If you're selecting something for the first time and you don't know where you're going to find it, then you may need to play with some different images that are going to come in. Okay, I just want to warn you, just to make sure they're going to fit your size correctly when you go manipulating. Sometimes, for example, when you're working with a music note, you might find something that you think will work, but then when you shorten it, then it doesn't look right anymore. All right, so let me also show you this. If you've used something before, if you come over to your panel here, you right-click it, you can come down to Image Info, and you can find what you used. So, for example, here's my heart offset, the heart, here are the music notes. So I can just click that, and there it is. So I'll go ahead and bring it in. Okay. Now let me also show you this while we're here, in case you don't know. Let's say we don't want this one, because we don't. We're going to go ahead and bring in a square, bring this down. I'm going to left click, select both, slice, and that gets rid of that. Now I'm just going to delete it on my keyboard. I'll hit delete. I'm going to bring this and I'm going to rotate it. I can rotate it by just clicking this number up here, rotate. I can rotate either way. Just going to square it up here a little bit. Now I'm going to make it smaller. I can also rotate this way, by the way. The way I'm going to do it is I'm going to set it right next to this line, and I'll be able to tell then how close I am. I'm going to make it smaller. And this is going to look a little different because of the fact that I used a different shaped heart. Okay, so it's going to look a little different. Kind of like this though. Now, all I have to do is select them both, and I'm going to combine them. I will weld them, and there's my piece. Okay, now let's say you don't like that, all right? I still have it selected, or I can reselect. I can't come back here and hit unweld, but what I can do is I can come back here to this arrow, and I can go backwards with what I did. I'm going to move this up just a little bit here. Okay. Now, let's say you really want to personalize this and you want to put someone's name here. Okay, let's do that. Let's type in text, and let's say we'll go with my nickname. Okay, we'll go with Tina. T-I-N-A. I can just type that in on my keyboard. I can come up here and I can choose any font that I like. Let's try cutting up. Let's see what that looks like. Okay. I'm going to bring this over. And again, I'm going to have to rotate this to fit onto my heart. Okay. So let's come in and let's rotate that. And we're going to want to fit that right on to the heart, right like so. And again, we may want to rotate this. I'm just going to do this here. So, when you choose your font, I would suggest choosing a font that will connect in easily here. If you choose some that don't connect in very easily, that might get a little hard for you. Here's something else you can do. If you like your size, but you don't feel like these letters are close enough for you, you can use your letter spacing here, and you can space them out or you can space them in tighter, letter space. Down will make them closer together, up will make them further apart. So now let's move it up here. Right? I can take all of that, select it all. I can combine and weld. Okay, the A looks a little funny, so I can hit here. I can take this and just move it up slightly so that maybe that will look a little better. Another thing you can do if you have a letter like an A that's going to look funny and you're not going to be able to tell what it is exactly, you can always go back and change your font to something else and see if it works a little better for you. For example, I could try this one. Let's see if that looks a little better. And again, I'm going to change that letter spacing by clicking in here. Let's go ahead and select it all, combine, weld. There you go. So there are all kinds of different things you can do here. Okay, and now you put it on there, you see it's going to fit on your keychain very well. That's a little bit difficult. Let's go to an easy one. This one, I just chose computer screen. All right, so I went into images, chose computer screen. I'm just typing in at my keyboard. I wanted to choose something not super intricate, but something that would show a little bit of definition. Like this one would work, but I wanted something with a little more definition than that, so I chose this. It's also free, by the way. Oh, that's a different one actually, but that would work. So let's go ahead and pull that in. You just size it appropriately. And you're done. That's it. That's how easy that is. Okay? So there's a couple of different ones there. If you're curious as to what this one is, it is computer monitor, and it is from Back to School. Okay, so let's take you into how we're actually going to cut vinyl on your Cricut. All right, so we're going to go to Make It. For any material, confirm, continue. I'm clicking here. And we're going to come down, and we don't need to worry about these other ones. Let's just look at this one right here. All right. So we know that it is vinyl. I actually have it right here as one of my favorites, so I don't need to worry about that. However, if you don't have it in your favorites, then you're going to have to go to Browse Materials. You can type it in, VINYL. And all these different vinyls come up depending upon what kind of vinyl you're using. Okay, so if you have adhesive foil or if you have the matte vinyl, I used matte vinyl. I also used the holographic on some of mine. Okay, so you can type in different. Now, let's say you're not using Cricut vinyl. I have found that it's still okay. If I'm using holographic, I can just type in holographic and it'll be fine. It'll work fine, even if it's not Cricut holographic. Okay, I'm not guaranteeing it will work because I don't know what kind you might have, but it's been my experience that it has worked for me. Okay, so we'll choose vinyl. We'll hit done. And now it has set my base material to vinyl. I'll go ahead and feed my vinyl in and cut it. Sometimes it takes more than one pass to cut the vinyl. Just for safety's sake, I always cut at least twice. That's just me. Sometimes if I'm working with a thick vinyl, I'll go 3 times, just to be sure. Hey, thanks for joining me today. It's been great fun sharing these tips in Cricut Design Space with you. I hope you got something out of it. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the box below. And I'll leave information about where some of these different cuts came from in Design Space. All right, I'll catch up with you in the next video. In the meantime, have a wonderful week. Bye.